everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Jawad and I'm from Calgary, Alberta. I hope you guys are doing well. Well, if you're looking to migrate to Canada, the first thing you need to do is to apply for an Educational Credential Assessment. So if you have a foreign qualification, you need to go through this process. So what exactly is ECA? So ECA is actually an Educational Credential Assessment report. So IRCC, the Government of Canada, has authorized few organizations, and those organizations are responsible for evaluating your foreign credentials. So basically, you need to apply for this online. You need to pay fees online. Then you'll send your documents to them directly, and then these organizations will issue a report which will confirm whether or not your qualifications are equivalent to Canadian standards or not. And accordingly, you'll be able to claim. For example, you have a bachelor's, you should be able to claim a point for bachelor's when you set up a profile when you set up an express entry profile. So it will all depends what your credentials are. And once you get the report and that report confirm whether your qualifications are equivalent to master's, bachelor's, or diploma, high school diploma, accordingly, you should be able to claim the points accordingly in your express entry profile. It's a very important step. In this video, I'm going to show you the step-by-step process, how you can create a profile, how you can pay your fees, what documents you need to submit, and how you can get this education credential assessment report. So make sure you're watching this video from the start till the end. If you're new to my channel, make sure you go ahead and subscribe to my channel. All right, guys, as you can see on my screen, this is the official website of Government of Canada, so IRCC, the official website. Now, the educational credential assessment. So if you have any foreign qualification, like I mentioned earlier, you must use a designated organization for educational credential assessment purposes. So what these organizations do, they assess your foreign qualification and then they give you a letter, a educational credential assessment report confirming that your qualifications are equivalent to Canadian. For example, if you have a bachelor's, you have a high school diploma, you have a certification. So these designated organization will issue a ECA, which will confirm that your qualifications are equivalent to Canadian standards. Now, there are five organizations mainly. For example, Comparative Education Services, ICAS. So International Credential Assessment Services of Canada, World Education Services, IQS, which is basically based in Alberta, International Qualification Assessment Services, International Credential Evaluation Services. So when I immigrated, I used World Education Services because I personally think their process is pretty straightforward, faster processing of your application, right? So I'm going to show you today how you can set up an account and how you can apply for an educational credential assessment and how you can get a report through WES and what steps are involved. So let me show you all that. Now, if you have a medical related occupation, right? So there might be slightly different requirement for you. So for example, if someone is pharmacist, right? Like you can see on the government's website, they must do your assessment. The Pharmacy Examining Board of Canada must do your assessment if your primary occupation is pharmacist, right? So now let me show you. So this is the official website of WES, World Education Services. It's a private institution, right? But it's, of course, it's approved by IRCC. So you would go to their website. I'll add the link in the description as well. Now, when you go to their website, you will basically see a web page like this, right? Then you have to click on apply for WES. Now, there are three different kinds of reports, right? WES standard application, EC application for IRCC, application for agri-food pilot, right? So you need to select the option for ECA application for IRCC. Now, when you click on this link, it will take you to this page, right? Then whatever email you're using, just, this is how you create an account. So enter your email address, and then it will send you a verification code, right? As soon as you get the verification code, you can just simply scroll down here, and then you can just simply copy the code and then just paste it up here, okay? And then you submit the code, right? And then it'll let you move forward, okay? So basically, these are the steps how you would be creating an account. So you can just simply mention your name, for example, Sam, Ali, um, Fan, right? And so whatever the name, so this is very important instruction. Make sure you follow this correctly. So whatever the names you have on your whatever the names you have on your passport or educational documents, make sure you enter the exact same name, right? Let's do the birthday, for example. No, I'm not that old. So let's go to just select any maybe. All right, let's go down. Do you have a WES reference number? So we don't have any WES reference number. Whatever the password you will be using, just maybe use that password. Now you can set up the security questions. Okay, now you can just, if you would like to subscribe to the WES newsletter, do that just click on the create account. So basically, this is the very first step, right? So the first thing you need to do is to create an account on it. So it looks like the account has been created. Now we can go to the next page. It's basically asks me to select the gender. You can select the gender. Now, whatever your country of residence is, you can select it accordingly, right? I'm not sure if it allows to enter, it does allow to enter a Pakistani number, right? So, for example, though I'm based in Canada, but I'm just simply entering a Pakistani number. All right, so let's go. So we are on the next step now. Okay. Okay, so basically, whatever the credential you want them to assist, right? So, for example, someone has completed a degree from Pakistan. Let's select Pakistan. So once we have selected Pakistan type of education, let's say we do university, name of institution, let's say NED, University of Engineering and Technology. Let's put it bachelor's in computer science. Let's do a bachelor's in mass communication. Now, again, clear instruction. First, know exactly as it appears on your credential, right? So you can just simply mention Sam, just making it. So just making things up here, okay? So whatever your information is on your credential, make sure you follow that. Okay, now let's go down. Field of study. We can simply mention mass communication. So, for example, if you've done bachelor's in accounting, you can just simply mention bachelor's. Um, Now, year of audit. So these instructions, this kind of information you can find on your qualification, right? So let's say year of audit 2024. So, for example, someone started this degree in 2020, they finished in 2024. So I should be able to add this credential. Now it will allow me to go to the next step, right? Now enter your current residential address for the mail you receive at home because um, that's how they'll be sending you the correspondence, right? So I'm just trying to make things up here, okay? So whatever your address is, L25XYZ, city, whatever the city is, let's say I'm from Karachi, can just put Karachi, state can be Sindh. Come on, okay. You can just simply enter the postal code. Okay, so delivery method. Okay, so international courier, that's probably because if you're doing it within Canada, so there are two ways you have. Okay, the first thing you can do, if you know someone in Canada, you can select Canadian post address and have it delivered on their address. They can scan it and send it to you. Okay, that's one thing. The other option you have, if you don't know anyone in Canada, then you can just select international courier, save it, and then it lets you go to the next page. Okay, so recipient to institution receiving a report. Actually, I think the first will be you, and then the second recipient will be IRCC. So of course they'll have to send this information to IRCC. Now I just tell you ECA report provided to you online, PDF accessible by IRCC, official paper report and all that. So basically just telling us it's going to cost us $248. Okay. Now required documents checklist for SAM, bachelor's in mass communication. Now it basically tells you what you need to do, what you need to provide, right? Your checklist requirement. So it's basically telling me so each country has WES. So for example, if you select India, it might give you a different instruction, right? So this is only applicable if you're doing it from Pakistan. So you need to have it done through HEC, which is Higher Education Commission in Pakistan. So it will basically vary. So depend what's your country. So you can select your country and university accordingly, and accordingly it will give you instructions. Okay. So basically, this is the checklist you need to provide. So you need to have these documents um, sent. You need to have these documents that has through Higher Education Commission, and then you can just simply send these documents to WES. Now it give you the option, right? Please contact the university, send your documents electronically to WES, have a copy of the renal document tested by the HEC, ask HEC to send their tested documents. So I opted for the second option. I still remember, so they can just simply go to the HEC and then they provide you all these signed and stamped documents, and they give you in a sealed envelope, and they of course they put in a stamp across the back flap by whoever the appropriate official is, right? So once it's done, it also asks you to provide your CNIC information. So like I mentioned earlier, this is particularly applicable if you're from Pakistan. But if you're from a different country, make sure you follow your own whatever the information WES asks you to provide. So make sure you provide it accordingly. Okay. So you can send these documents by postal mail, WES courier. So this is the address you need to send all this information, right? So now your profile, so it just tells us that to review our profile, what we're looking for. Once you confirm all that, it will let you go to the next page. I confirm all that information is correct, though it's not correct, but since we're just showing it to you, so that you will have an idea how to create an account and how to request an ECA report. I'm not a okay, so um okay. So basically, harmonized HST is a mandatory tax in Canada. It's a combination of federal goods and services. I'm not a resident of Canada, for example. I'm not a registered on the day. If you do register, then you may have to pay an HST as well, I believe. So see, they're not asking you to pay HST. 13%, I think, because this organization is particularly operating from Ontario region, I guess, and there's 13% tax on it. So you don't have to pay it if you're applying from outside of Canada. But if you are in Canada, you may have to pay this 13% HST, okay? Now, select payment method. You can select whatever the method is convenient for you. A credit card, debit card, it's a good option. You can select that. So once you submit that payment, right, it will basically go ahead and generate your WES number, like a reference number, and that is something you can keep it for your record purpose. You should be able to see the status and all that as well. So basically, it's a pretty straightforward process. This is how you're going to submit your application with World Education Services for an educational credential assessment. Okay. And generally, I think they only take a few weeks. Once they have complete documents, they'll start working on your application. So once they have all the attested documents through the Education Commission or the Higher Education Commission, they'll start working on your application. It probably will take around 20 to 30 days, I guess. And once the assessment is completed, then they'll be issuing you an educational credential assessment, which a report, right, which you should be able to see through your account, but the actual copy will come by mail. So that's basically what the process is, and I will leave the link in the description as well, so make sure you go through that as well. All right, guys, well, thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you liked this video. If you have any questions and concern, just leave it in the comment section for me. I will try my best to respond to you as soon as possible. Take care of yourself. We'll see you in the next vlog very soon. Thank you very much for watching once again. Bye-bye.